Finding muscles, the first one that we're going to look at is the group of muscles, the wrist extensor muscles, and they come on the lateral side, palm is down. This is the normal way that people will lie down, palm down. So the fingers just to the lateral side, and all we're going to ask Mayumi to do is just keep the forearm down and just lift the hand up, and that will activate the wrist extensor muscles. So if you can just do that one again, the palm is down, fingers into the belly of the muscle, the hand only comes up. They're the wrist extensor muscles. The wrist extensors as a group of muscles, and again, they come to a common point onto the humerus. The wrist extensors, posterior and lateral onto the forearm. Onto brachioradialis. So brachioradialis comes from the humerus, goes down to the radius. It does not cross over the wrist. And so under them circumstances, the main effort is onto the forearm, not onto the hand. Put your finger into the belly of the muscle. What Mayumi is going to do is to bring the forearm towards the upper arm. I'm just going to apply a little bit of tension. There's the muscle. Okay, go ahead. Now you can see where the muscle is. And let go. And again. And let go. One more time. Flexion at the elbow in a mid or a neutral position. Brachioradialis. Still onto the forearm, the lateral side. Brachioradialis. Brachioradialis. So it comes from the humerus and comes down onto the radius. It does not cross over the wrist. So the only joint that it will activate is the elbow. And primarily what that does is give you something to eat, something to drink. Flexion at the elbow in a mid or a neutral position. Brachioradialis. This time we'll look at biceps brachii. So biceps brachii is the muscle on the front, the anterior part of the humerus. It does not attach to the humerus, so it's on the front part there. And this time Mayumi is just going to bring the forearm towards the upper arm. Very gently so you don't hurt me. Yes, go ahead, nice and gently. Biceps brachii. Biceps brachii, primarily flexion at the elbow. Biceps brachii. Onto the upper arm, biceps brachii. Whilst this muscle is in front of the humerus, it doesn't actually attach to it. Biceps brachii. It will do flexion at the elbow. It will also do supination at the elbow. Biceps brachii, but it does not attach to the bone underneath there. Here we can see the short head of the biceps, which goes up to the coracoid process of the scapula, and the long head goes to the glenoid tubercle, the supraglenoid tubercle. Long head, short head, and then it comes down onto the radius, the radial tuberosity. And again, it does not attach to the humerus. Whilst we're in this position, Mayumi just holds her arm there, then what you can do from there is just feel for the tendon of the biceps. And then, now you have to just go really heavy, very heavy, that's it. We squeeze the skin together gently and then push down. And then from there, Mayumi is just going to take the pressure of her arm off my hand. And the muscle that jumps up and hits you is brachialis, because you've gone either side of the tendon, so it cannot be biceps. So by squeezing together, pressing down, Mayumi takes the pressure of her arm. That's all she has to do, and brachialis will come up and hit your fingers and thumb. Just be careful of nerves. Biceps brachii, brachialis. Brachialis, and brachialis does attach to the humerus. That also goes onto the ulna. Brachialis. Biceps brachii does not attach to the humerus. Brachialis, the muscle underneath, does, and it also goes on to the ulna as well. Flexion at the elbow, brachialis, that's all it does. Flexion at the elbow. This time, if we look at triceps, and triceps, just put the hand at the back of the humerus, bend at the elbow. What Mayumi is going to do is just straighten out at the elbow. I'm just going to apply a little bit of pressure. So just again, go ahead, and you'll feel the muscles at the back of the arm, the triceps, extension at the elbow, tighten up. Triceps, posterior part of the humerus. Mayumi is doing extension, the muscles just jump out and hit your fingers. Triceps. Triceps, there are three heads. There is a lateral head and a medial head underneath the aponeurosis. It's quite a big muscle underneath the aponeurosis. The lateral head and the medial head attach to the humerus. The long head goes up underneath and attaches onto the scapula. Lateral head, medial head have an attachment onto the humerus. The long head goes onto the scapula, and then they all come onto the ulna, the olecranon process. Triceps, extension at the elbow. As a group of muscles, they will do extension at the elbow. Triceps, this is the lateral head. Underneath the aponeurosis is the medial head and the long head. And the long head goes up onto the scapula. Lateral head, the medial head, the middle-sized head, and the long head. Extension at the elbow, so they come onto the olecranon process. If we come onto the inside, there's a muscle just underneath there called coracobrachialis. Sometimes that may be a little bit difficult to find, but so that you can see, fingers underneath there, and then this time, what Mayumi is going to do is to try and bring her arm up and across her chest, as long as she doesn't hurt me. Yeah, very gently up and across, and there you go, that's the muscle. It runs by the side of the short head of the biceps, so it does flexion and adduction. Coracobrachialis. So coracobrachialis on the medial side of the humerus, flexion and adduction. Coracobrachialis. Muscle running parallel with the short head of the biceps is coracobrachialis. Coracobrachialis. It attaches to the coracoid process and comes down to the medial border of the humerus. Coracobrachialis. Adduction and flexion at the shoulder. Coracobrachialis. If we keep the arm nice and straight, and then from there, just put your fingers just to the front of the shoulder, the glenohumeral joint. The hand, it doesn't matter what position the hand is in, whether it's pronated, supinated, doesn't matter. Mayumi is just going to keep her arm nice and straight and just lift the arm off the table. And that's anterior deltoid from there. So if we have a look at that from a lateral position, same scenario, fingers front of the glenohumeral joint, the arm is just lifted up. It will work to do that. Obviously other muscles will work as well, but that's the anterior deltoid. The deltoid muscles. Delta, triangle, oid, shape or form, deltoid. The anterior deltoid comes from the clavicle, goes on to the deltoid tuberosity at the humerus. Anterior deltoid, flexion at the shoulder and medial rotation, as well as doing abduction in combination with the other deltoid muscles. Arm is down by their side. Your fingers this time just come to the lateral side of the shoulder joint, and then if you can from there, then what they're going to do is just lift their arm out to the side. You apply just a little bit of resistance. Arm out to the side. All the deltoids will work there, but primarily it will be the lateral deltoid which will take the brunt of the work to do abduction at the glenohumeral joint, at the shoulder joint. The middle or the lateral deltoid comes from the acromion process and then goes on to the deltoid tuberosity. The lateral, the middle deltoid, abduction. The middle, lateral deltoid. If we want to look at the posterior deltoid, obviously you're not going to be able to see this from this position, but the hand goes at the back, the posterior part, and in this particular case, Mayumi can either keep the arm straight or push the elbow into the table, so push straight down, and as soon as she does that, you will feel this great big muscle mass jump into your hand. Posterior deltoid extension at the glenohumeral joint. And the posterior deltoid. So this comes from the spine of the scapula. It's quite a big muscle. Spine of the scapula again to the deltoid tuberosity. So this one will do extension at the shoulder, the glenohumeral joint, and lateral rotation. And in combination with the other deltoid muscles, it will do abduction. Anterior deltoid, keep the arm nice and straight and lift the arm up. For the middle or the lateral deltoid, just come around to the side. You may need to apply some tension onto that area, and then they lift the arm out to the side. Posterior deltoid, fingers to the back, and then all they have to do is either the hand or the elbow pushes into the table. Extension for posterior. The hand position can vary, so whatever is comfortable for Mayumi to do that, she can keep her arm nice and straight and push the arm, the hand into the table, and that will activate the anterior deltoid. If we come around to the side, that will be the middle or the lateral deltoid. And from there, just push the arm out to the side. So if I take my hand away, and Mayumi does that again, that's what she's trying to do, just bring the arm out to the side. Abduction at the glenohumeral joint. And then from there, if we now just go from there, posterior deltoid, the arm nice and straight, and just lift the arm off the table. Posterior deltoid extension. Another way of finding that, again, is to bring the arm out to the side. They drop that down, armpit, shoulder, be careful because some people are ticklish. Halfway between the armpit and the shoulder. And they now try and just bring their elbow up towards the ceiling. So they just lift up like so. And you can feel the edge of the muscle mass. So lift that one up to there. You don't need any resistance because the weight of the arm is enough to actually put resistance onto there. Fingers in position. They lift the elbow up towards the ceiling. Extension. And the posterior deltoid. So this comes from the spine of the scapula. It's quite a big muscle. Spine of the scapula again to the deltoid tuberosity. So this one will do extension at the shoulder, the glenohumeral joint, and lateral rotation. And in combination with the other deltoid muscles,